I'm Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
I'm Emmanuel.
All right. Come on now, you'll step in. Step in there. A little late on the delivery.
Here.
So tonight we're going to talk about PDA, public displays of affection. For some, it's a little bit easier to show that person that you with, a little love and attention in front of people. For others, it's a little harder to actually do that, But I think the part of this conversation is going to be, what's that reason why, why it may be easier for some, why it may be harder, for others. So I guess in my opinion on that, I think that, public displays of affection, there's nothing wrong with that, Nothing wrong, a little hand holding, I do know that there's a line, okay? There's the thing right there, okay? There's a line, okay? You start going below the equator, you went too far, okay? You went too far, okay? I'm just saying, okay? You turn PDA into something totally different, okay? That ain't PDA no more, okay? It's not.
It is.
Hey, it's borderline jail time too, because they lock people up for that. Okay.
Oh my God.
So what you guys think? Why you think it's easier for some, harder for others?
So when I've noticed it, it's when one of the people in the relationship, or one of the people that are out, aren't that attracted to the other person, and so it's like they're good on the affection and all of that kind of stuff, and definitely don't want other people to see them because they're not really that attracted to the person. That's one of my ideas or thoughts.
I have seen that before. I've witnessed that before. You've got a person that is not as committed or wanting to be seen with this other individual, and those displays of affection kind of make them uncomfortable. You also have people who just aren't publicly affectionate, right? There are some cultures where it's like, I think it's something in the Asian culture, like they literally do not show PDA. They don't kiss in public, anything. So it depends. It does depend on the people involved, but what Nrgy said is 100% right. And then I think that some cases, if both people feel comfortable with the public display of affection, then you'll see it to its highest level, which is kind of what you were describing earlier, Josh. I don't know if you're going to jail for that, but
I mean, if it go below the equator, it do. Okay, like how much? How much PDA? Hey, let's look at the line. How much PDA is too much PDA? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much of that is just too much? Okay, like,
I agree.
Just saying, okay, like when you start, when the audience starts gathering, oh, you done went too far. Okay, like
that's fair. That's fair. I get it.
Okay. Hey, you got more than 3 people looking at you. Oh, you putting on a show. That's what you doing.
It depends where you are now. I done seen in some club environments where nobody will be looking at you, and it's definitely a lot going on. Okay, so I mean, it's all a matter of circumstance.
In the type of places you in, because like I said, if that's acceptable, okay, if that's acceptable, that's the norm now. Okay, you in the wrong club. You know what I'm
saying? Like, hey, I'm just saying, like, this is what's happening. Okay, we gotta talk about what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, what you got to say? You got a big smile on your face.
Listen. Emmanuel on it. I'm just listening. I'm here for the listen today because Emmanuel on it.
Oh, no.
Just added perspective. That's it.
It is. So I think that sometimes people find it hard to really show that affection to some people because they may just be uncomfortable with vulnerability, like being vulnerable. Like sometimes that fear or that anxiety makes people, they just make them cautious. It don't matter how close you feel about the person, no matter how much you love that person, it's something within yourself. You just can't do it. You can't just show that. And then you have those people that grew up like that, you know, like those people, you know, their mom might didn't hug them a lot, or they didn't grow up in a family where people gave hugs, or they did all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't the norm. Like it wasn't something that was like casually done. So they just carried that throughout the rest of their relationships, where it's like, okay, I didn't do it then, so why should I do it now?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say it also can stem from insecurity.
Yeah,
too.
If a specific individual is insecure, they may make greater efforts to have these public displays of affection to kind of give them comfort in their insecurity. So I think that's a big ticket item too when it comes to PDA.
Yeah. I think sometimes you get to a certain point in your life when you've possibly been with a few people in your lifetime where you get comfortable in that. You know, like if a person is like, they don't like to show PDA or nothing like that, they use that as the excuse why they don't. You know, like they use that as the crutch to say, hey, I'm not like that, or I don't like to do it, so that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to accept it at that point. You just accept it. Oh, they don't like showing PDA and stuff like that. But if you would, to me, I think that if you with an individual that's like that, though, that would be uncomfortable for a person that is used to that. You know, like used to being touched or shown affection to publicly and stuff like that. That would be kind of uncomfortable, right?
And not only they're uncomfortable, they're really take a real person.
Correct.
Because when you're an affectionate person, and you love to touch or whatever the situation is, and you with a person, to me, sometimes just make excuses. You know, I would say you just make excuses. Like, oh my God, I'm just gonna like that. But if you can make an effort to be, you know, to accommodate your partner who likes that, who likes the affection.
Yeah. Nrgy, what's your take?
Well, I already gave mine earlier, but I totally agree with what you were saying. Also, my second one.
Yeah,
I saw all of that. Dang.
I gave mine early. Go ahead.
I gave my first.
This ain't the collection plate, okay? I know you gave early. You gotta keep.
Can I get my thought out?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Like I was saying, y'all on it tonight. So the other one that I was thinking of too was, you know, that it stems from, you know, a person's past. I don't want to say for everyone, of course, but I definitely would say for the majority, because affection with your partner or your loved one is just it's natural. You know, it's that thing that us as human beings that we just naturally want to do. We naturally want to have that, whether it's in public or not, you know, out in public or not, but we naturally want to show affection to our partner. And so for those situations or for those people who typically don't or kind of have like an issue with it, for me, I do also think that, you know, there's something from their past, typically as a child, where either there could have been some mishandling going on or just total isolation, like they never experienced it before, you know, at all. It could be on either extreme to where they're just not comfortable with it at all. So,
yeah, I would say that too. You know, the wonderful or interesting thing about this topic is because I take it, you know, I think it's a little personal thing because, you know, the PDA thing, you know, I wasn't comfortable with PDA for a long time, you know. Like for real, like me as myself, I was like, man, I got a whole hand, and I gotta do this. This is what we doing. I gotta do this too. different. I was like that.
I can relate to that.
I was like that for a minute. I was.
Okay, but why were you though? What was your reason?
I just wasn't. I mean, it made me uncomfortable. Like, to be fair, it did.
Yeah, but why?
Why?
It just made me feel weird. Like, that's why. Like, if it made me feel weird, it didn't make me want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make me just want to do it. It didn't have anything to do with the person. Like, it didn't. Like, it didn't have anything to do with the person that I was with. It was just, and because the only reason why I can say that is because it was with like a whole bunch of different people. It wasn't just with one particular person. It's just I never gravitated to it, like, at all. Like, just never, ever. Nope. Just never
But
did.
then at some point it switched because I'm
Yeah.
assuming that you're open to it now.
Yeah.
So then what happened during the time of when it switched for you? What was different?
My mindset about it. My mindset about relationships in general and how they work more efficiently, per se. Like, in order for a person to change something like that specifically, you have to change your thought process about it and really the reason why you're doing it.
Right.
Because I'm not saying that even now, I'm not saying that it's 100% comfortable for me even now, but I have a different reasoning in my mind of why I do it, you know? Because if you don't do that and force yourself to a certain degree to do it, then you're not only gonna make things awkward for yourself, you're gonna make things awkward for your relationship.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, that was just my whole thing about it. And like I said, I see you guys' eyes looking at me with all this curiosity and stuff like that.
All right. While Josh is talking, everybody look to the side.
He's like, ooh, spill a tea. Spill it. Like, spill it.
There you go, right. Aphrodite look to the side while he talk.
Not really awkward. Okay, that's really awkward.
Hey, nobody watching you, okay?
Hey, the only reason I said this is because when I started saying that, you scooted real close to the screen at that point. Like, you was like tuned it in. I was like, okay.
Hey,
I'm like, okay.
good content coming. This is
This is what we doing today, This is what we doing.
Oh yeah, that's how we doing it today.
we get some of that perspective, man.
So you mean to tell me everybody here has been comfortable with doing PDA? They've been.
I'm a very efficient person. I'm very comfortable with PDA.
Okay.
I'm not. So I'll tie into kind of what you were saying. It's not my style. I'm a very personal person in general. Some people say secretive, which I don't look at it that way, but it can be viewed that way. I'm very personal. So I look at PDA as impersonal. And it kind of conflicts with who I am as an individual. Sometimes, just depending on the frequency of it and the extremity of it. Both of those matter. I don't like feeling like I have an obligation to indulge in PDA, okay? All right, because sometimes that's the way it comes across. It comes across as, oh, okay, you're not on board with this? Okay, you must not like me. You must be embarrassed of me. You must have another woman.
Personal when I'm personal.
Yeah, it's all these now assumptions that come into play because this may not be my preference per se. And that's probably what makes it even harder for me because it's not anything about them. It's just me personally. So yeah, I mean, I'm not completely against it, but I don't like feeling pressured into it. And I don't like feeling like it's got to be like the absolute norm, no matter what. Almost like someone's trying to like impress upon others that there's something that exists. You know, it almost sometimes feels like that. It's like, oh yeah, every time we go out, I have to show everybody that you're mine or whatever that looks like. Mm-hmm. I don't like it when it's to that extent. So that's kind of my view on the PDA that I've personally experienced. That's just my take.
Yeah. That takes sound similar to mine, don't it? Like, it sounds real simple. There's a bunch of similarities in that, okay?
I don't like that pressure. I don't like that pressure to be PDA. I'm not showing love, but it shouldn't be like,
every time we go outside, I'll hold my hand like this.
Holding hand is minimal. That's minimal to me. That's a minimal level of PDA. I can do that.
Okay. So there's a line. All right. There's a line. Okay.
Well, I need an example. So if holding hands is normal for you, because for a lot of people who don't like PDA, they don't want to hold hands. So like, what would be an example of where it's like, okay, this is too much?
I think holding hands is minimal. I want to say it's normal. Like it's still, in excess, I won't be too happy with it. But I mean, I'm fine with doing it. But extremity would be like, try to kiss all on me in the line in the movies, or like, just like I like my space too. Like even though like beyond just PDA, I just don't like feeling like smothered. So if I'm getting smothered, then that's a problem too.
What, Josh?
Nothing.
No, come on, bring it. I need to know what thoughts were going in that head.
You were calling, Josh. Go ahead and put it back up.
No,
What you thinking, Josh?
I was thinking when you was talking about public displays of affection, but I was thinking about what we were talking about last week. I know the week before last.
I was gonna say it.
Hey, that's completely different.
And all I could think about was feet. And I was like, this. I'm like, man, you had the same look on your face when we was talking about. You had the same look on your face. You did. You was like,
I didn't even see it. I seen
it. Okay, you was like, you started kissing on me in the line and stuff like that in your face. Then your face just got, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, don't do it.
I thought about the topic and the body part too. I thought about it too.
Oh man. Oh, it's priceless. It's priceless. It is. Oh man. But no, I can relate to that a little bit. I mean, like I said, some forms of PDA, it's uncomfortable when it's forced on you. It is. It's very uncomfortable when it's forced on you. Most people don't like it when it's forced on you. You don't. When somebody tell you, hey, you gotta hold my hand when we're in public, or I like a certain amount of like kisses every day and something like that. I'm like, are we counting? Like we gotta write this down? Like I gotta meet a quota?
Keep it
really?
Just like a guy. Just like a guy.
What?
Like only a guy would literally take it literal.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with energy.
If it's told literal, then it's like
women are more emotional, affectionate beings, so they will never see it how we do. They just never will. It's not gonna happen. Like the sun has its time, the moon has its time. It's not gonna happen together at the same time. It's different.
Hey, that's why it's perspective, man. Like that's why it's like that. Because like I said, everybody got a different perspective on how you view that. But I mean, public displays of affection sometimes translate into private, displays of affection too. You know that, right? Like most people, if you have a PDA type situation, when you're in private, it may not even be any better. You know what I'm saying? Like it may not be any better if you're at the house, sitting on the couch, Like sometimes that translates into your private life too, where even if you are with this person, you sitting on two ends of the couch. Every time you sit with this person, like they sitting over here, you sitting over there. It ain't like y'all on top of each other or nothing like that. It just, you know what I'm saying? Like it translates, the translation thing.
It does.
See, look.
That's more of an issue to me. be honest, it's kind of contradictory. It should be the other way around, if anything.
So, Emmanuel, since you had an issue with public displays, so private display is cool. So, yeah, we can go beyond just holding a hand on the couch.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, now we at home. We at home in the privacy of our home. Hey, you know, it's a good time. You know? That's a good time. You know, we gotta be honest now. We at home.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to be smothered at all. Like, that's just like, in general, it don't matter, private, public, being smothered is too much. It's just,
what is considered being smothered, though?
It's just like, it depends. Like, I guess that's a good question. I guess, like, I don't want someone on top of me all the time. You know, like, I want to be able to, like, be my own person without Bay on my shoulder, or, you know, Bay laying on me when I'm trying to do some work in the office or watching my football game. Like, I need space, you know, like, allow me to have me time. Okay. Me time. Okay. You know, like, I'm driving and you laying on my shoulder, like, all right, come on now. Like, it's levels of, like, smothering. To me, that's smothering. Like, people need their personal space. And when in an isolated instance, it's fine. But if it's all the time, like, almost like you're attached to me, I look at that as smoke.
Okay.
And then that brings up a good point. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
It just sounded like he was describing the COVID protocol. You know, when you need 6 feet apart, like, I need you like, be back here. Don't be up here. Okay? I need you back here. Like, this is just saying, like, that's what it sounds like. Like, stay back, okay? I don't need you.
He's social distancing in his relationship.
I know, but
it depends.
It's weird though. That's weird, cause you all lovey-dovey and being up on top of them at your house and stuff like that, but you always want to be seen with them in public and stuff like that. Like, you don't want to.
You don't want to be seen with them as a stretch.
I know. I'm just saying. But if you that emotionally attached to somebody in private though, you can see how that can rewire somebody's brain though when they're in public. Because if you that affectionate and stuff like that in private, then all of a sudden we get out of the car and then it's like, we walking side by side, but you don't want to.
It should be a level of respect. It should be a level of respect for your relationship and for the people around you to not overindulge in public. That's my thought process. It's not that the affection or the emotion isn't there. It's just there's a respect. There could be children around. There could be all kinds of things going on. And there's a certain level of respect that you should exercise when you're in public.
How many children I'm saying just as much as everybody else?
I'm trying to figure out what is your version of public display that children can't see. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think children should be seeing two people, kissing each other all the way down in public. I think that's extreme, depending on the kid, the age of the kids. I don't think that's. Yeah, they may see that at home, but I don't think that's what children should be seeing. And I think that goes into another topic, which is why children are now behaving in the ways that they are and possibly doing some of the things that they are because of what they're seeing. And I think that that's something that we have control over as responsible adults. It has nothing to do with my personal affection. It just has to do with respect and how we want, our future generations to come up.
No, I got that. I'm in my head. I'm trying to add it all up though. I'm like, hey, what kind of kissing or what kind of hugging or what kind of public display of affection would ruin a kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, would ruin their disability. Like, you gotta be really kissing somebody to ruin their kid, man. Like, I be like laying into them, like really laying into them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't seen that happening in public? Is that something you think people just pecking each other on the cheek in public?
No, I'm not saying on the cheek. You can kiss someone on the lips without making it look like a R-rated movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
people are just generally just doing at the most moderate level. People just, hey, darling. You mean that's what's going on? To me, that's not extreme PDA. That's normal. That's normal.
No, what you're saying is you You see, like
I'm seeing extreme. I'm talking about groping.
No, we talking about tonguing.
Yeah. I've seen groping.
So he hit on the butt. You think it? So you just
That's definitely not appropriate. No, not in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, if they happy with that, fine. But in my opinion, that's not appropriate. I would never do that to my woman in public.
Okay.
No matter how much I like her, love her, how affectionate we are, I just wouldn't do that to her in public. Not unless there was nobody around. But yeah, I just wouldn't be doing that in a public setting. So Josh, as a man, would you slap your woman's butt in a public setting?
Yes.
Would you be comfortable doing that?
It depends on the setting, though. Like if we had like a dinner party or something like that, probably not the best idea.
Okay.
If we walking into the movies and stuff, maybe. Just say it.
But see, like what you're describing is a situation that nobody will see, for the most part.
But think
I mean, if he walk into the movies, more than likely there's not a crowd of people around him.
No, he can be at the concession stand and
Right.
So you comfortable with doing that, like in the concession stand?
you waiting in that long line waiting to get some popcorn.
Yeah. Just tap it a little bit, you know.
So you think that that's extreme? That's an example of extreme.
On what? Because he with his animation, like that sounds like a little like
my hands are big too. Look at it. Look how big my head is right there. Okay.
Like the way he's saying that, it seems like it might be subtle. So it might be like, oh, I'm right behind you, babe.
He just prepping it. You got some prep.
Yeah, it might be like, oh yeah, I'm here behind you, babe.
Yeah.
You know, but it's different levels.
But think about it though. Like, since we segueing down this particular topic, is there a line to what is considered PDA? You know what I'm saying? Like, because PDA turns into other. You know what I'm saying? Which is the other category, which I think that's what you're talking about. Is the other category.
PDA though. It's all PDA in the most general.
Okay, so public displays of affection is just. I think it just classifies as just general levels of affection, but when you borderline levels of affection that could actually get you potentially locked up, then it stops being public displays of affection and more public lewdness or something like that. That's not gonna get
you locked up, though.
I'm just saying.
As long as clothing is on, you're not getting locked up. Okay.
But you was over here talking about
clothing is on. Clothing is on. Okay. You're not getting locked up as long as clothing is on. You know, that's just the reality of it.
I mean, I don't think wherever you at, if this is a nice place, I don't think that you're gonna be staying there for long. Though, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be wrapping up your plate quick. Hey, you need to get out of here. Like whatever y'all do, y'all need to get out of here. Okay, because that's what I'm saying. Not everybody likes to see that. Like they don't. People like to see normal levels of PDA, like the standard stuff, whatever. Now you do have those people that like to be invasive and they like to see everything and stuff like that. Those are the bystanders. They sit there and watch everything that you do, right? In that area. That's a little different,
right?
But like I said, what we were talking about was just specific levels of just general PDA, right?
General PDA at the most basic level is fine. Kiss on the cheek, a little peck on the lips, hugs, holding hands, booty rub is, in my opinion, that's general. Once you go to booty smack and grab, extended 5-7 second grabs, like groping, hugging, all that stuff, like tongue kissing, to me, that's more of the extreme side of things. And that's where I have to say, not quite my cup of tea.
So you are comfortable with a certain level of PDA?
Yeah, PDA is come on now, you can't. I mean, at some point, like you said, there's got to be an acknowledgement that there's affection between the two, and it can't just be limited to the house. That's healthy. It's only healthy. It can't just be limited to home. Yeah. So there's a reasonable level of PDA that can and should happen reasonable levels.
He stressed that.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how many times you got to say reasonable.
For me.
But, I mean, just saying, okay? Just like,
I've kind of outlined what I deem reasonable. But that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, you outlined that. I mean, the
reasonable.
Hey, I mean, I'm curious though, right? Because we've heard our perspective, like the male perspective.
Right, Josh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm curious, you know what I'm saying?
Let's start with energy.
I'm curious.
I'm scared of you. I am not
curious.
scared.
I'm curious, okay?
This is for the fellas out here, man. We got time, fellas.
I am not scared. So I am all into PDA and being affectionate. I am a full-blown affectionate person with being respectful outdoors or when people are around. You know, I am just going to be mindful about my surroundings, just like I am with anything else. But you better believe I'm hand holding, I'm walking with my arm around his waist, his arm around my shoulder or my waist, or, you know, if we're stopping somewhere and, you know, we give a quick kiss, I'm all for all of that. If we're standing in a long line, I'm gonna be hugged up on you. Yeah. My head's gonna be on your chest. Yeah. I love all that.
Extra effect.
What is too far? Is there a too far?
Yes, there's a too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get perspective.
Again, key word is still being respectful, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Appropriate levels of PDA.
Yeah, you know, like they say, lady in the streets.
And whatever in the sheet.
Whatever they say.
Right. They say something.
Fill in the blank.
Hey, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, fellas.
Wow. You just went on and spoke with every night here. Just like, oh, there you go.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's one perspective. After that is not escaping.
Oh, man.
I'm all for PDA. I'm not even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's like, yeah, we got the taste. I'm for it. I might be the one that you feel like I'm smothered. You might be a little bit smothered. Because I like affection. You know what I'm saying? Do I understand it's a limit? Yes. Do I know that people need that person in their space? Yes. But why not? What's the problem?
There it is. There it is.
Look at John.
What's the problem? You right. What's the problem?
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Hey.
I ain't gonna lie, you didn't hit me on my ass and grab me for too. That's cool. Okay. Just get ready for tonight.
I'm not mad at it.
Why not? You know what I'm saying? This is what
we just sing the thing. That's how we do it.
What is wrong? Are you okay? Like you seeing things over there, man? You like, what's wrong with you? Like you looking around like bats flying around, man. Like, hey,
I'm good.
Hey,
are you sure? For your water?
Hey,
I finished it. It's
you over here got daydreams about them feet, man. Shoot, you better watch out. Dude.
I don't want the thought to be that I'm against PDA. I'm really not, but I think that there's just levels that need to be observed. That's it. Which I gather we all feel the same. You know, just those levels may vary.
Yeah, like standard PDA, I mean,
standard PDA varies from person to person. Okay,
like it does. But hey, I didn't hear no person just be like, "Oh, we going 12 degrees below the equator over here," or something like that, man. Ain't nobody saying that like that, man. Dude,
I think we all on the same page, then. To be honest,
it is.
Outside of being smothered, I agree with both of the females' takes.
Hey, everybody needs whatever they need,
That's true. And that's
true.
That goes with what you were saying, Josh. You gotta sometimes put yourself in positions that may not be comfortable to you or your significant other.
Right.
So despite how I may feel about PDA, sometimes I may do more than my preference in an effort to be a team player.
Wow. Are you okay? You can breathe. It's okay to breathe on that.
I'm a team player,
Whoa.
Team sport,
You was doing so good. You was doing so good, man. You was. It was sounding good. Then you hit up with that team player stuff. It's like, I checked out. Okay, that's it. I checked out.
Hey, it's a team sport, bro. It's a team sport.
Hey, you do realize using that concept in a relationship, man, can go a lot of ways, man. Like it can. You know what I'm talking about? It's a team sport. It can be a team sport on a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Give me a howl,
Hey, it's a team sport. It's a team sport. You know? I will repeat that.
It's not. I wouldn't call. I mean, I get you saying it's a team sport, but I don't think it's more like a team sport. I just think it's more like not being. I think it's a kind of selfish to a certain degree. To be like, let me do what's best for me, even though your partner needs something from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, I think after you get to a certain point in your life, especially as an adult, you know the difference between right and wrong, and you know what feels right, what feels wrong, what's necessary, what's not necessary. I think that from a PDA standpoint, you do what you prioritize.
Right.
So it's like if a person walks up to you and say, hey, I would like to be more affectionate, or I would like certain things like this to be done, and you hear it, and you're listening to them, and you're looking at them in their face, but you're making a choice at that point to either A, fulfill what they're saying and try to do a little bit more of it, or B, stay in your comfort zone and don't do anything. You make a choice at that point.
Right.
I think that's being a team player.
Wow.
No.
What would you call it?
It ain't being a team player.
What does that mean?
It's looking at the fact that you're in a relationship instead of looking at the fact that you're like strictly single. Single.
A single is not a team. Can we agree on that?
I know, but making a choice not to provide your partner with something that is realistically something that you can do is not being,
So let's just go, because maybe I'm being misunderstood. A team is a group, more than one of people that work together. Okay, let's just be understanding on this. So if there's two people in a relationship, they're a team. Period.
Yeah, they are a team, but look at the way that you said that statement though a while ago. You said you taking one for the team.
No, I did not say you're taking one for the team. I did not say that. Okay, that's not what I said.
That's how I sound.
That's not what I said. I'm very particular. I did not say you're taking one for the team. Okay, I said I'm being a team player. Okay, I'm being a team player.
I think to me, when you said you're being a team player, it was that little breathing in between, like that. I'm being a team player, like that got me. Like I was like, it was gonna hurt you to be.
Breathe. Y'all want me to like suffocate, like from not getting air.
No, you're not doing that.
Look, Josh, they don't even want me to breathe, man.
Where's they?
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right.
Okay, Nrgy. When he did that little, I'm taking one for the team. Like, how would that make you feel if you were in a relationship?
What did I say immediately after he did that? I said, it's okay, breathe, because you were tense and tight and you held your breath and all of that. So I wanted you to breathe. Right. However, I do understand what everyone is saying. I understand what you're saying, Emmanuel, just the gist of it. Like, okay, there's two people here. This is something that my partner wants. I'm not so into it, but you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice or whatever and do what my partner wants because we are a team. But then I understand what Josh and Aphrodite are saying too, where saying it in those terms, it creates a totally different energy between those two people.
But the thing is, like, if I'm specifically speaking to my partner, I probably wouldn't phrase it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
Sensitivity that's going to be involved with the words that I'm saying, the tone I'm using. So all that stuff is understood, right? But, you know, I look at, oh, Josh, you know,
I know I'm playing.
Yeah, I mean, I say a team player because I really think that's what it is, because you can have a player on a team that's not a team player, you know? So I think a team player is exactly what it is when you're in a relationship and you're doing something that might not be your preference, but you know it's for the better good of the relationship of your partner. You are being a team player, you know? And my tonality may have misconstrued, you know, the intent behind that terminology, but yeah, I mean, I'm openly happy to be a team player.
Yeah, I get it, for sure.
Nothing wrong with that, okay? Nothing wrong with that at all, okay? 6 feet away.
Josh, you ain't no good. You ain't no good. You're no good. Okay? You must be better than this. Okay?
Hey, that's what all about. That's what all about old jokes. Okay, stop telling me that all.
A back.
Alright,
that's funny. But yeah, so like I said, we've kind of kicked around this PDA thing a lot, but like I said, I think at a point, like I was saying earlier, PDA, public displays of affection, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not. I guess to me, I think that the summary for me is just everybody figuring out a healthy compromise on what they both feel is going to be comfortable enough for the relationship.
Right.
Instead of just denying the other person something that they need. Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
right. It's healthy. It's needed. It's necessary. Okay. Like PDA needs to happen. Okay. I just want that to be out there. Okay. It needs to happen. So
You sweating over there?
Hey, y'all see how they ganging up on me? See? Ain't no good.
Ain't nobody ganging up on you. Like, seriously.
Ain't no good.
Yeah.
I said I understood. I was able to
Nrgy,
repeat.
You didn't say you understand. I appreciate you. Air 5. Give me an Air 5. There you go. Look, bam. See? Aphrodite. You're looking kind of offish over there. Okay. Looking kind of offish.
Oh, boy.
Listen, the only thing got me was that breathing. I'm like, it took you had to breathe too hard to be saying team play. They kind of like caught me, like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But I'm cool with it. I mean, you explained yourself very good. So, I mean, long as we know and understand, like, okay, you good with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not, I don't oppose it at all.
Okay.
Just don't do the breathing part. So, you know, that hesitation, don't do that part.
Okay. Gotta calculate my breaths around. I forgot it. Okay.
Yeah. Because, you know, I pay attention to all that.
Okay. All right. I'm about to breathe. Okay. Give me one
That's
second.
that non-verbal conversation.
Hold on. I'm about to breathe again. Okay.
That's that non-verbal conversation. You know, that people read into.
This is where the conversation goes off the rail right here, okay? this is where we just went off the rail there, okay?
We're doing so good.
This is where we went off the rail, so this is the perfect place to hit this, okay? Like another episode of Added Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
I'm Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
And I'm Emmanuel.